There we go. Okay. So yeah, I had similar numbers, Shayla, because like you, I didn't really have too much understanding or like training, I guess. I haven't really been taught how to do the future value, but I guesstimated around 200 million.
What numbers were you guys working with to get those? Were you working with like the projected or
The 157 million for mine was with the trailing revenue, and then the 200 million was with the forward revenue and the forward multiple.
okay, cool.
Has anybody had a lot of it, or like had a class that taught them a lot about valuation?
Um,
Not really.
Not really.
yeah, last semester I did, but not really based on these numbers.
Which class was that?
That was um, I forget the numbers. Hold on. It was 411 advanced investments.
Oh, yeah. That one's not available online anymore.
Uh, um, and it's got like it does like IRR, which the thing mentions, but I don't know. It doesn't give much of a trail. I didn't think so.
And the midterm, you have to calculate company value, future cash requirements, things like that. Did I do it okay?
So, what numbers did everyone else get for that? Did anybody get numbers?
I mean, I just estimated like around 150 million. But I don't really know if there is a formula for. I think each buyer is going to be different.
Yeah, there is a lot that actually goes into it. A lot of it is just learning what affects the business and making your own judgments
Mm-hmm.
based off of the calculations.
Yeah. So they do have a little bit of a grace that they can tap into. Sorry, no, it's 401, B401. And I think it depends on what they end up going with it. If it's the acquisition or the IPO can affect the valuation. So, which I think is one of the next questions that we need to answer. Maybe not, but I actually Googled the company, and
Mm-hmm.
the Wikipedia said that they ended up taking the IPO the next year in 2004 and at a valuation of 44 million.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of use that as like a I don't know, like a reference, like what's going to happen. where in like what reading was there that like helped us with the valuation?
It was last week. It talked about it in the IPO document we were supposed to read.
Mm-hmm.
And it just talked about 3 different valuation methods. There's the, using a multiple. There was the cash flow, and or maybe there was only 2. I can't remember now. But it didn't really talk about the revenue sales multiple, but I ended up Googling it because I was struggling with the numbers we had to find a good way to do it. So I found that one. But it was like, it's the same as price to earnings and the UBI TDA. It's similar, just using the different numbers. And since I didn't know how to do it with negative earnings, that was the hard part.
Yeah, that seemed to be hard to quantify in there.
So that's why I used the revenue sales method.
Okay. So for our range, why don't we put between like 155 or 150 and 200?
That sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, part of my evaluation too, they're on page 6. It says the post-money valuation was 129 million. And so I was just thinking with a little bit like steady growth, by 2002, 2003, be around 200 million.
Okay. And then how much did Greg's investors put in total?
I guess I didn't understand that question. I thought it was asking the potential investors what kind of return they would want when they exit. So I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah, that one's not a very well worded question. So is it just 30 to 50% of, if we do a range of 30 to 50% of 150 to 250 million?
That's what I did, but I don't know if that was what we were supposed to do. But
Do it like, what is that? 50 to 100 million.
well, so I got like the value of the company when they exit would be 584 million to 742 million.
Well, that sounds good to me. Yeah, that's right in there.
That was just, well, actually, that was saying like 5 years in the future. Do you think they would exit in 5 years or less?
I don't know, but I think if you just clarify that, like in 5 years, they could expect to exit at that, then
Okay.
that's,
And that was also using 30%, so that would be the minimum.
yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out exactly how long Greg actually wanted to stay with this because he only created it because he got bored in the first place.
Yeah. Well, and usually if you have investors like that, and if it does an IPO, then you have to wait time and let your interest in the company vest a little bit.
Mm.
Like you can't just sell out like as soon as it goes public for the most part. I don't know. Cool. Or do I need to type this? Or do you have those exact numbers, Shayla? Are you in the group chat? Or the group?
Yeah. I can get on there.
Okay, so accepting the acquisition, in my opinion, like if we're supposed to be doing an analysis of each of these, in last semester in a class I was in, 499, they talked about good money, bad money, and how like a disruptive, innovative company should be careful of the money that they accept because it could limit them and make them answer to the wrong people. And I think an acquisition for them would be bad money coming in, and it would choke out a lot of their entrepreneurial and disruptive type spirit.
Turns over all like authority basically to other people, and so then they're answering to others
Yeah.
and meet their needs instead of trying to meet like, their own needs like they were doing before.
Yeah. Which I think an IPO, it's big money like the acquisition, but it leaves them with the decision-making power, even though they have an added responsibility to investors.
Yeah.
They still
I think they're also just kind of at a breaking point where they're really going to be starting to see the revenues go up because they've done a lot of growth and changes and, you know, got people in the right places on the team. So it just seems like kind of, I'm trying to think of the right word, but, you know, like will kill their momentum if they do the acquisition.
Yeah. Yep. Because it's like you won the game at that point. You got your money.
Yeah.
And you've lost your skin in the game a little bit. But like an IPO, like you don't lose your skin. You start, yeah, it's almost like you're betting on it. Like, okay, I've grown it this much. Now let's see what the people will value it as. And if it tanks, then you lose. If it goes successful, then you win even bigger than you could have.
Yeah.
Oh, also the IPO gets him, he was excited because that hits his goals for like marketing. It's like a form of marketing for him.
Oh, that's right.
Sweet. Well, this week had a lot less to discuss. I don't know if there's much more we want to hit on after these quick analyses. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think we just have to select which one we think Greg should do with the company,
Oh,
and then we'll be good.
maybe I spoke too soon on my one sentence. I figured the IPO is the best. And what are you guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I think so too. It's just more opportunity to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only downside was I just typed it in that there's not. It just wasn't too optimistic because of how tech IPOs have been doing at the time. But they keep looking at how Salesforce.com had done,
Yeah.
and that had always what they wanted to get to if they were going to do an IPO, because they wanted to beat out Salesforce and do better than what they did.
Well, yeah. Yeah, and Salesforce would also provide somewhat of a benchmark for their industry.
Yeah.
So seeing how successful they did and in such a similar business model, they know what to expect better.
Yeah, I was good with anything but the acquisition.
Yeah, acquisition, they give up too much too fast, I feel.
Yeah.
Especially with where they're having to kind of redo some stuff with how they're wanting to market the company.
Yeah.
I feel like they would just lose traction and it would fail way too fast.
And they ended up acquiring a whole bunch of tech companies.
Right?
Yeah. Like every few years they'd acquire a big old company. And then in 2011, they started signing a deal where they got bought out by Oracle for 1.5 billion. So pretty good.
Smart to wait.
Yeah, wait to sell. Yeah, he started in 1997, and then we're looking at the 2003. So in like a 14-year time, it grew from $5,000 to 1.5 billion. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
All right. So no acquisition, yes IPO. Organically
With IPO.
is just kind of they
Keep going with
they grow slower, and it's kind of, I don't know. The problem I saw with that was that there was people competing for the market space they were trying to enter, and they'd be running pretty slow without the boost that the money could give them.
And like you said, the marketing power behind it.
Yeah. Sweet. So
just touch up anything you guys need to, or that we feel we need to, and then who wants to submit it this week?
I can submit it.
Perfect. Then get the group meeting links submitted as well.
I'll just submit it tomorrow evening around 7 p.m. So just any changes you want to make, do it by then.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. See you guys next week.
Thanks.
All right, see ya.